I hope. Wait. I forgot to change scenes. I'm dumb. Hold up. I hope you guys are ready for Shadow Slave, because I am fucking pumped. I am excited. Let me sip my G Fuel. Let me tire out my dog just a little bit more. Bear with me. Go get it. Come here. Let me just tire her out. Give me 2 seconds. Come here. Go get it. Come. Right here. Take it. Ah! Get it. Right here. No? Go get it. Get it. Give me 30 seconds, team. 30 seconds, guys. We're just tiring her out. We gotta make sure she's nice and restful. Gotta make sure she's nice and tired. Oh, give it. Where are you going? Ellie, why are you hiding over there? Come over here. Over here. Good job. Go up. God. Oh my gosh, she got me tired. We were playing earlier. Woo! Hello. I'm fucking pumped, man. I've been fucking ready, bro. Wow, hold up. Now I'm tired. Fucking shit. How you doing, bro? Yeah, no, she's a girl. Look, let me show you, bro. She's super cute, dude. Let me show you. She's the most precious thing in my entire life. Hold up. Let me show you. Come here, you cute little doggy. Come here. Look, this is Ellie. I don't think you've met Ellie, bro. This is my dog. Oh, it's okay. Hi, say hi, Ellie. She just looks crazy. I'm growing out her hair because I'm trying to put this in a little bun. So I'm trying to grow out her hair, but it's kind of all over the place. Okay. Don't fall, dude. Careful. Yeah, it's an early start. We do need to do one quick announcement for our anime Dunqua reacts for the future. Let me just let my dog out. 1 sec. All right, we're gonna go straight into it. Let me make sure my phone is muted. Okay, we're good. Do not disturb. We are good. We are free. We're just gonna quickly do one little Patreon announcement, and then I think we'll be good. Fuck, man, my dog got me tired. All right, let's do this. Full screen. A Patreon. Yeah, man, I've been getting a lot of blocked videos recently, and it's starting to kind of piss me off. So at least here will be all the unfiltered stuff. Wait, I cannot record a video of this song. It's definitely going to get picked up. So we're just testing random Xenoblade music to see if we're safe or not. And I think we're good. It's fucking crazy, dude. Fucking insane. I still can't get over that fucking season 3 finale with fucking Mordred. It's like 5 people detected. It's like, what? Fucking 5? Just let's get this announcement out of the way before I forget. I have my screen off. 1 sec. It's weird. Why is it off? Off console. Figured it out. I had console on. Just quick disclaimer. All our future anime / Dunqua reacts will be over on Patreon if you would like to see unfiltered, uncut stuff. This is just a quick plug before we get into volume 4, and I know most people tune in for this, so this is gonna be a little bit of a plug, a little bit of a promo, and then we'll go right back to it. So yes, I decided to open up a Patreon. I've been recently dealing with so many RMGI videos getting blocked, or all this shit happening like in between videos, and it's getting annoying. I'm like, okay, but then people are asking for Patreon so we can start seeing stuff without a filter. Music is way too loud. So I think moving forward, Dunqua, like spoilers, for the Lord of the Mysteries Season 2 Dunqua, you will be able to see that here Early access, no filter, no nothing, and you'll be good. You can see it here. Eventually, all this is going to go on YouTube. It's going to take some time. Just quick plug, and then we're getting this out the way. We're going to have different collections. Right now, all of RMGI is going to go up here, early access. And my thing froze. One sec. What's going on here? What's going on? What's going on? Right here. Perfect. So right here, we have the RMGI episode reacts. You'll be able to get them here. Early access, full uncut reacts, and you're good. Eventually, they'll be over on YouTube. We are going to have a Patreon only for another tier, which I feel weird doing. I felt so weird doing memberships. I held off on it for so long, and we just did it. But this is going to be a Patreon exclusive only react. Eventually, it will go on YouTube, but it's going to have a filter. But if you would like to see it without a filter, I think it'll be on the second tier. And then there's a higher tier just for full support. Eventually, one day, if we do YouTube full-time, content creation full-time, that's going to help a lot. But in the meantime, we going back to Shadow Slave, baby. Let me switch scenes. Let's get to it. I'm so fucking pumped, dude. Look, all I know is I see you, bro. I assume we're I think I know where we are going. I feel like we're gonna go to a very cold biome. I may or may not be wrong, but I am sensing we're gonna go to a very, very cold locale in the second nightmare. We're gonna need a nice, beautiful trench coat, and I think that's where we are going. I may be wrong, but I have an inkling hunch that that is where we shall go. What is season 4 going to be called? We'll find out after we read the first chapter. Let's see. Let's see if we can guess it early on. Okay, we're good. Let me set this bad boy up. What kind of music are we playing right now? Just expedition music, calling it a day, or what? Are we playing eerie music? Yo, finally got a stream. Yo, first time joining stream, dude. Thank you so much, dude. Let's do this. Expedition music. Let's play this one. Shadow Slave, Shadow Slave. Whoo, fuck is 601. Hey, bro, are you at 1,000 already or not yet, dude? I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Wait, hold up. Why have I not said it out loud? You pronounce your YouTube handle as Junior Kirby, right? Right? JR Kirby, Junior Kirby? You just reached 100, Nightshade. Good shit, bro. What's up? Oh, 1,000. Oh, you just did 1,000 today. Holy fucking shit, dude. Congrats. Let me finish my G Fuel. I'm like half asleep. I've been fucking fixing all these blocked videos. And I was like, I want to read, but then I'm like, fuck, I'm kind of half asleep. Damn, near a 7-hour stream? Holy shit, yeah. I've only done like a handful of long streams. I think when I was on the tail end of Lord of the Mysteries Volume 1, I streamed like 9 hours. I went to bed, I woke up in 6 hours, and I did like another 7 hours, and I finished all of Volume 1. I did like the last 15 hours of LOTM back to back with like 1 6-hour nap, and man, that shit was wild. It was so fucking addicting, dude. All right. Let's fucking go. Wait, no, we're doing this so bad already. We forgot to do our timestamps. We're just gonna gauge this timestamp because I am excited to fucking jump in. I hope you guys are excited to fucking jump in. We have finally reached fucking chapter 4. We have finally reached chapter 601. Volume 4. Where are we gonna go? I don't fucking know, but we're gonna find out. And bro, congrats to 1,000 chapters. Damn, 7-hour stream. Damn, that sounds hype as fuck, dude. And thank you. Hey, thank you for tuning you guys in. There's already like 20 plus one of you guys here. Good job. Love you all. Are you guys ready? Are you excited? Guess who's back? Back again. Chapter 601. Kingdom of Hope. Okay. Volume is going to be called something King of Hope. Kingdom of Hope. Sunny dreamt of boundless blue skies. Beneath them, a patchwork of islands floated in the air, laid on the backdrop of the velvety darkness like a beautiful mosaic. Some islands were verdant and greened. Hold up, right away. Music is way too fucking loud on my end. Hold up. I already paused the video. Gotta make sure this is good first try. I know it's just half one for me. And again, just did a 7-hour stream. I'm knackered to be prepped for the madness that is Volume 4. Hey, man, take care, bro. Get some rest, dude. Yeah, I figure you're gonna need some rest after that shit, man. I know I lost my fucking voice after that. I was out cold for a while after those long streams. Some were desolate, empty, and some were covered by ancient ruins, the weathered stones overgrown by moss. All of them were bound by the colossal iron chains that rattled loudly as the islands rose and fell, hovered above the abyss, a scattering of pale stars shining somewhere far, far below them. In the center of the mosaic, an ugly wound gaped, a vast tear into space where nothing but emptiness remained. A lone island soared above the tear, 7 torn chains hanging from its slopes, a beautiful white pagoda standing on its surface of the mantle of the clouds. Suddenly, the sun rolled above the tear, and 7 torn chains. I see 7. 7 torn chains hanging from its slope, a beautiful white pagoda standing on its surface in a mantle of clouds. Suddenly, the sun rolled backwards, soon disappearing behind the eastern horizon. The skies darkened and then were illuminated again as a radiant moon streaked across them swiftly enough to turn it into a blurry trail of light. A moment later, it was day again, and then it was night once more. So this is time going back, right? Like when we enter the first nightmare? Is that what's going on? The skies grew torn between light and darkness, time flowing in reverse with terrible speed. Got it, check. Sunny washes the islands beneath him slowly changed their shapes as runes rose to the ground and assembled into the unwavering structure. As the stars turning bright into the abyss grew brighter and brighter, new ones igniting each moment until the whole void was suffused with a furious white light. I realized the song did not loop after it looped. After we turned on loop. Oh my god, I think we're doing this shit all over again. Let's see what happens when the song ends. You guys might not be able to hear it. No fucking way we're doing this bullshit again. What are we doing? YouTube, I'm fucking hitting a loop. One after another, fallen islands rose from the annihilating light, the chains that had tethered to them for the rest of the mosaic repairing themselves. Soon the tear in the ivory to its center was no more, and instead a vast ashen wasteland scorched isles appeared in this place. The ivory tower descended from high above, taking place at the very heart of the wasteland. And instead, so it's the ivory tower. An instant later, the ashen were no more, revealing a breathtaking aerial sky that sprawled across the dozens of islands, all of them concentrated to each other by the arching bridges and overflowing aqueducts built out of the pristine white stone with vibrant flags fluttering in the wind and sparkling waterfalls flowing into the abyss below. Slowly, Sunny's gaze was pulled west towards the very edge of the chained isles. There was one of the great chains anchored to them to the lands beyond, and a mighty fortress stood at the precipice, similar to the other border strongholds he had seen before. The island next to it resembled a vast stone bowl with rows of seats cut into the weathered white slopes in a circular arena layering at its bottom painted dull red, and even further than that was an island with a strange river that flowed endlessly through it, forming a circle around the ancient statue of a beautiful woman wielding a spear in one hand, gripping a beaten human heart in the other. Her nakedness covered only by a beast hide tied around her thighs, her face lost in shadows. That was the island where Sunny found himself, and of course he was thrown straight into the damn river. God damn it. Why does this keep happening to me? Sunny was so angry that he didn't even feel any panic, unlike the previous 2 times the spa had decided to give him a cold and wet welcome, first on the nightmare shore and then on the sanctuary of Noctis. This time at least, he had an idea of where he was and which direction to swim if he wanted to reach the surface. Sunny strained his muscles, struggled against the strong current, and finally realized that something was terribly, terribly wrong. His body refused to listen, or rather it did, but in a way that made no sense at all. His limbs didn't move, and he willed them to, and instead of swimming, he simply thrashed around, submerging deeper and deeper into the cold, dark water. His senses were all messed up too, and so he couldn't even understand that he had gone wrong, what had gone wrong. What the hell? Now Sunny finally was starting to panic a little. This went way beyond what he had experienced in the first nightmare. Back then, the body gave him by the spell had felt almost the same as its own. This time, however, it was way too unfamiliar. Was this what Master Jet had warned him about? Sunny tried to keep calm and swim ashore, but moving through the water, especially with such a strong current, was not an easy task. It required a lot of coordination and a fair bit of balance, which he simply lacked right now. No matter what he tried to do, his efforts only made things worse. He fell deeper and deeper into the river, drowning slowly. His lungs were already starting to burn with the lack of oxygen. They also felt as weird as the rest of him. His vision was already darkening. Sunny gritted his teeth, which suddenly sent a wave of pain through his mouth and jaw, and then stopped struggling, letting the current pull him down. Then he concentrated on his shadow sense, and soon his body struck the rocky, rock reference, cool, the rocky bottom of the river, stepped through the shadows, and appeared near the stone statue. Sunny fell into the grass, coughing violently. So I guess this isn't the biome I thought we were going to. It might be a future volume. Sunny fell into the darkness, coughing violently. He tried to suck in a breath of fresh air, only to find out that even that was a struggle. His lungs were refusing to work as they were supposed to, and even though he managed to inhale, it was still not enough to chase the sensation of suffocating away. What is going on? Damn it. Sunny sprawled on the ground and closed his eyes, cutting off all his senses to concentrate on trying to take control of the mess of his new body. Don't think. Thinking will only make things worse. This thing has to have instincts you have now. Them. Oh my god, I am stuttering like a mother trucker. Don't think. Thinking will only make things worse. This thing has to have instincts. You have to have them too. He cleared his mind of any thought about breathing and oxygen, and as soon his instincts did indeed take over, it was that the story of the centipede that was asking how it walked and fell down, unable to move. As soon as Sunny stopped thinking about and inhaling, his body did so on its own. Wow, I cannot read today. Suddenly, his lungs were full of sweet air, and soon he was strong and vigorous once more. Oh, thank God. Sunny did not move for a few moments, breathing deeply, and then tried to understand what type of vessel exactly had the spell chosen for him. Before he could, however, a beautiful voice suddenly sounded above him, full of curiosity and amusement. What a strange thing you are. A strange thing? Is Sunny not a fucking human? Sunny opened his eyes, struggling to rise to his feet, turning his head swiftly in the direction of the speaker. When he did, he froze. In front of him, kneeling near the statue, was perhaps the most beautiful woman he had ever seen. She has soft skin and a delicate, exquisite face, her chestnut hair streaming down her shoulders. Like lustrous silk, her eyes... I'm sorry, is this supposed to be... Effie? Her eyes were suffused with light and shone gently like two silver stars. Silver stars? Okay, hold up, a little too close. Sunny has seen a lot of stunning beauties in her lifetime, but no one could ever remotely compare to the quiet, breathtaking grace of this stranger. Just one look at her made his heart race and his face flush. She was more like a fairy than a mere mortal, and maybe she was. The beautiful woman was wearing a simple red tunic that left her shoulders bare, and wielded no weapons. Despite that, her presence was vast and permeated the whole island. It was as though the blades of grass bent slightly to the closer to her. The rays of sunshine changed their path to the caress her skin, as she didn't exist in this world, but instead the world existed around her. Who is this? And something about her felt strangely familiar. Sunny opened his mouth, stunned, and said, greetings, or at least he tried. However, what came out of his mouth instead was a horse. I'm so fucking stupid. I thought he turned into a horse. No, it's a horsed bestial growl. I thought it was like he's actually a fucking horse. I did not see fat order of this. I thought he turned into a fucking horse. I was like, what the fuck? You can turn into a horse? No. What came out of his mouth instead was a hoarse, bestial growl. What the? He tried to speak again, and once more, his mouth just raggeded or some shit. He tried to speak again, and once again, his mouth produced a low, threatening gnarl. The woman frowned. Oh, one of the shadow... What the fuck? One of these shadow god creatures? How curious. Did he turn into a fucking nightmare creature-esque looking thing? One of the Shadow God's creatures, how curious. I didn't know that there were any of you left here in the Kingdom of Hope. Sunny stared at her, dumbfounded. Then he lowered his eyes and finally looked at him. Oh crap. Well, at least one of his desires had come true. Sunny wasn't short anymore. In fact, he was at least 2 meters tall. Oh, he's tall. The problem, however, was that he wasn't a human. Oh, this is going to be so fucking bad when we run into the gang, man. Oh, when we run into Effie Kai, they're going to fucking try and kill him. His skin was light gray, the color of stone. His legs were long and dignigrated, bending backwards and ending with a powerful sharp claws. He had 4 arms, each longer and stronger than that of a human, and a long twisting tail. His face was like that of a demon, with sharp features and a mouth full of terrifying fangs. 2 curved horns were growling in front of his forehead, and his hair was long, black, and coarse. His eyes were fully black with no irises and 2 vertical furious pupils. What's worse, Sunny didn't seem to possess the vocal cords of a human. He couldn't speak. Oh crap. The beautiful woman looked at him and smiled. Her smile was dazzling and breathtaking, but made Sunny feel cold and scared for some reason. You shouldn't have invaded my lands, little creature, but don't worry. I will gift you a death most glorious. This I promise before the gods. Shoot. What the fuck am I reading? What the hell did he turn into? She rose, standing tall in front of the ancient statue. After I, Solvain, and nothing if not merciful. We have read the name Solvain before. After all, I, Solvain, am nothing if not merciful. We've met her before. Right? We've met this character before, Solvain, or we know of this character. I'm sorry, can you guys send fucking fan art of this? What the fuck what does Sunny actually look like? I read the description, but I need to see what he is. Flying ship? Solvain is the flying ship? Oh, it's been a while. Dude, it's been 4 days since our upload, and it's been like 6 days since we read live. Oh, shit. Okay. Damn. Sorry. It's been like almost a week. My mind was slipping for a sec. Next chapter. Fuck, dude. I'm fucking yawning. I hate that I'm yawning, man. Oh, man. I hate that I'm yawning. Chapter 600... and 2. It's called Swarm, this random saint in the flying ship. Thank you. The random saint in the flying ship. The armor he gets from slaying her with a wooden knife. The vine creature. Oh, I need to go back. I definitely need a refresher. Chapter 602 is called Swarm of Shadows. Slow down there, lady. Oh my god, I'm yawning 10-15 minutes into the video. Slow down, dear lady. Sunny tried to take a step back, but ended up in a staggering and almost falling down. Somehow he managed to keep his balance, crouching as his talons dug into the ground. His forearms rose, sharp claws aiming at Solvain. All that talk of glory and death made him very, very tense. Solvain, wait, Solvain. A low growl escaped from Sunny's mouth as he realized who was standing in front of him. So this is the beautiful, graceful woman. She was the ghastly living corpse he had destroyed in the cargo hold of the crash ship, or rather, would be. Got it. That makes more sense. Okay, thank you guys. He had traveled into the past of the Chained Isles. After all, or at least an illusory reenactment of it, it made sense that Solvain had not succumbed to her harrowing fate. Yet, Sunny shivered, remembering the silent pleading and boundless torment in the empty eyes of the worm vine's host. How could those terrible eyes be the same as the radiant ones looking at him right now? Suddenly, he was overwhelmed by pity, compassion, and sorrow, and fear, because if he was right and this was really the same Solvain, then this dazzling stranger who had just promised to give him the gift of a glorious death was a saint, and a saint promising to kill him was not something Sunny had ever wanted to hear. He peered beneath the surface of Solvain's lovely figure and saw a single sphere of light burning brighter in her chest, so radiant as to appear almost blinding, her soul core, the soul core of a transcendent. His vertical pupils narrowed, a single thought ringing in his mind: run. Sunny felt that his body was much more powerful than his own, and humanly so, but without knowing how to properly control it, outrunning a saint was out of the question. If it had even been so, his only hope was Shadow Step. He already started to fall into the shadows when a beautiful silhouette suddenly appeared near him, a graceful hand falling from above the grasp of his arms and into the iron grip. If not for Bone Weave, his wrist would have shattered like glass. The hold of a saint was as invaluable and inescapable as death. Sunny couldn't escape it into the shadows anymore, and summoning any memory would have taken too long to be of any use, all except for one. A ghostly stiletto suddenly appeared in the trap, in his trapped hand, and awkwardly shot upwards, leaving him with a scratch on Solvain's perfectly smooth, silky skin. So we cut her. She glanced at the scratch, which was slowly wielding with blood, a single crimson drop falling on the verdant grass. Her luminous eyes glistened. Is this fate, then? A sacrifice of blood was made on the altar of war. Little Shadow. Altar of war. And then Mordrent is the Prince of War. I wonder if there's a correlation here. On the altar of war, little shadow spawn, how special you are, ah, so be it. With that, she smiled randomly, and the next moment, her other hand moved forward, and before Sunny could even fear, the world exploded with pain and then turned utterly dark. Shadows, shadows. Sunny was surrounded by shadows. Some were close to him, and some were far. Was he just killed? Some were close to him and some were far. Some were small and some were large. Some moved and some were still. He was one of the shadows too. No, not one. A swarm of them. A legion of shadows, all hidden in one vast and lightless soul. Silent and tranquil, free from all burdens, free of all desires, free of any reason and will. For now, my head hurts. Slowly, Sunny regained his senses. The first thing he felt was pain and then the steady beating of his hearts. Yes, apparently he had 2 now, as well as 4 lungs. 2 bodies? His body was heavy and unfamiliar, too large, too cumbersome, and too strange. Something hard... I am so confused. Something hard and cold was pressed against him, making him feel a dull pain in his limbs. His head ached too, as if he had been stuck on hard enough to shatter a weaker skull. Well, he had been, had he not. The breathtaking beauty Sylvain hit him. She killed him. Damnation, why am I still in pain if I am dead? What nonsense is this? I'm sorry, but like, if he's dead, technically, he didn't conquer the second nightmare, but maybe because he's like a shadow creature, he can keep endlessly spawning? Full of outrage, Sunny tried to chase the pain away, but it remained. Why wouldn't it disappear? It wasn't supposed to torment him still. Unless he wasn't dead, and the saint had not, in fact, killed him with one strike. Sunny hissed and opened his eyes. What he saw made him stare for a few moments and then laugh, or rather, he wanted to laugh. But what came out of his mouth instead was a chilling, deeply disturbing, uneven wail. Oh gods, this is just too on the nose, really. Come on. Sunny was so amused because the hard and cold things pressed painfully against the body were the sturdy bars of the iron cage. He was in a cage again, and there was a steel collar wrapped around his neck. Sunny was once again turned into a slave. Hey, Spell, is this funny to you? Are you happy with yourself, you wretch? His new cage was way smaller than his previous one at the Night Temple. In fact, it was barely large enough to fit his lanky body with all its limbs, claws, and horns. The cage was hung from the ceiling by a rusty chain, and this every move caused it to sway lightly, and the bars digging painfully into his flesh. Sunny growled angrily and looked around, trying to make sense of his previous sensations. What were all the other shadows he had felt close by? Crap. All around him were rows of hanging cages of different sizes, and each of them imprisoned a creature of some sort. There was monstrous wolves, stone gargoyles, giant slithering worms, bulging mounds of flesh with gaping circular maws, and all kinds of abominations, some of which he had seen and fought before, and some that he had never even heard of. There were closed metal boxes that producing the sounds of hundreds of small feet wrestling against their surface in cages of large enough to fit a chain worm. In fact, there was a chain worm trapped in one not too far away from Sunny. There were even cages that contained humans. Sunny stared at the dungeon of horrors for a bit and shivered. What the hell is this place? So does the Saint Sylvain just capture people and creatures? Is she like a collector of sorts? Is that what the fuck is going on? Hey, 1 minute. Artwork in Discord? Alright, let me look at it. Fuck, man, I am so sorry I'm yawning. I spent so long fixing 3 videos for RMJI. Shadow Safe Artworks. Okay, before we continue, I just gotta apologize. I am so sorry for yawning. We had to edit 3 separate RMGI videos that are gonna be coming out soon, and I'm currently on the 4th one. So I was gonna cancel stream, but I don't want to cancel. I want to keep reading. Before we continue, I need to look at the artwork. I need to see what the fuck Sunny looks like. So this is About Those Potatoes, chapter 556. Oh, this is such a sweet fucking react. Look at Sunny. Fucking smug ass smile. Kai's right here. She's like, Rain, what? What the fuck? What? You know him? Sunny's second nightmare monster form. Whoa. 4 arms? 2 heads? It's like a shadow creature. What the fuck? These are the horns we were talking about. Goodbye, Uncharted. Yo, take care, man. Don't worry. We'll have the video up right away, man. What am I looking at? This is Sunny? The second one is more closer, I think. I did not think. I was under the impression we would still be a human that closely relates to the human body. But I guess they just take creatures that wow, that's crazy. So there was literally no human vessel that could match Sunny's description. So the spell literally gave him that creature's form. That is fucking insane. Sunny's human form is just his visual effect. He looks like a full-on monster. That is insane. So it doesn't even match that. Chapter 603 is called I cannot fucking say this word. Menagerie of monsters. Is it like a cluster or combinations of monsters? Let's update this bad boy and let's get to it. Can you guys hear the music, by the way, or no? Chapter 603 is called the Menagerie of Monsters. Sunny stared at the menagerie of the monsters forbid, getting used to the fact that his eyesight was different now too. His eyes seemed to be much keener and were naturally able to see in the utter darkness, as opposed to being gifted this trait by his aspect, but he had trouble differentiating colors. The world was basically black and white, or rather consisted of various shades of gray. Similar to how he used to see the world through shadows, his sense of smell was also enhanced, overloading his mind with an avalanche of new information. You see, I thought our locale would have avalanches, but I guess I spoke too soon. Of new information, it was hard to concentrate on any one thing, let alone make sense of all this mess. Ah, who cares? Let's just get out of here. Just like in the night table, the cage limited his shadow sense. However, this one did not sap him with his shadow essence, which was a pleasant surprise. Sunny's joy was short and lived, however. As soon as he tried to shadow step away, he realized that he couldn't teleport through the iron bars. What's more, even his shadows couldn't slid through them, as though there was an invisible barrier blocking their way. Sunny gritted his teeth and felt a sharp pain of his fangs sunk into the soft flesh inside his mouth. He tried to curse and produce a furious growl instead. Menager is a collection of wild or unusual animals kept for exhibition. Or menagerie? It's like, okay, so it is like a collection. Got it. Oh, I dropped my mic. Thank you. After that, he simply remained motionless for a bit, staring at the other prisoners of the dungeon with gloomy resentment. Cursed at all. Finally, he shook his head and awkwardly knelt on the bottom of the cage, grasping the iron bars with all four of his hands. Moving twice the amount he had possessed previously was a bit of a challenge, but he did manage after a couple of attempts. Fine, there are other methods. I'll melt this whole damn cage if necessary. He stretched one of his hands through the bars and summoned the cruel side. And then nothing happened. The only thing that changed was his steel collar turned a little colder for a moment. Sunny frowned, his black eyes growing even darker, and then he tried again. It's just a J sound, not a G. Oh, I blame English. The somber weapon did not appear. There was no tenebrous mist shrouding his hands, and no feeling of a small portion of shadow essence disappearing to grant the memory a physical shape. Feeling uneasy, Sunny lingered for a second and then tried to summon the midnight shard. Once more, his collar grew cold for a moment and then nothing happened. What is going on? One after another, Sunny tried to manifest all of his memories to the same result. His memories refused to appear, and not even a single spark of ethereal light ignited in the darkness of the dungeon. It was almost as if they were all gone, stolen. Must have been the wind, even in a mirage. Even Weaver's mask. Panicking, he hurriedly summoned the runes, hoping to see that he was wrong. The list of memories did not turn empty. No. But the familiar shimmering runes did not appear. There was nothing in the air in front of him. Just cold and dark emptiness. Wait, what? Sunny clawed? Oh, I'm sorry, so how the fuck is he supposed to get out of a harder nightmare? Sunny called the runes forth again and again, but they were inexplicably gone. His collar was now as cold as ice. Can't be. It was almost as if... as if he was completely cut off from the spell. When the realization hit him, Sunny leaned heavily on the bars of the cage and remained motionless for a while, utterly stunned. What kind of a nightmare was that? How was it even possible to lose connection to the spell? It was a spell, damn it, the terrifying almighty spell. Who could snatch it and awaken away from it? He wasn't even able to enter his soul sea. The scale and scope of his tectonic change simply failed to fit in his mind. Sunny had spent so long living with the spell that he almost didn't remember what existing without it felt like. It was as though an integral part of him being was suddenly taken away, leaving him hollow and incomplete. I don't understand. He was still trying to cope with the new reality. Ugh. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. When heavy footsteps suddenly resounded in the ghastly dungeon. Raising his head, Sonny saw a giant of a man walking between the hanging cages, his powerful figure radiating a sense of vast, solemn strength. The man was wearing a worn leather armor in a tattered red robe, its edges frayed and torn. On his back, a barbarous, curved blade hung wide and heavy, enough to split any abominations in half. 1 sec, I'm getting a phone call. All right, 1 sec. That's so funny. It was my girl. She was all like, hey, you told me you were gonna go live at this time. Like, yeah? So what's up? It's like, yes, I just wanted to call you and say hi. It's like, alright, bye. She's like, no, don't hang up, let's talk. It's like, no, bye. Oh, so funny. And on his belt, heavy chains rattled with each step. The giant's face was hidden beneath a hood, but Sonny didn't need to see it to know how that he was looking at an ascended. And that ascended was walking straight into the cage. Now is my chance, but to do what exactly? Sonny was not accustomed to his new monstrous body and was devoid of the ability to summon memories. He was unarmed and defenseless. He didn't even know if his aspect still worked. What was he supposed to do? Trying to fight a master with his bare hands, fists, claws, or whatever? Or wait and see what happened? In the end, the cautious part of his mind won. Sonny silently stared at the man in the red robe approaching the cage, glanced at him, and then somehow made the iron bars disappear without a trace. One moment they were there, and the next they were gone, throwing Sonny to the ground. How? The giant cruelly slammed his massive fist into Sonny's head, and before he had a chance to shrug off the disorientation, a thick chain was already fastened to his collar. Then Sonny was dragged somewhere, sliding across the dirty floor of the collar, dug painfully into his neck. Okay, this is just so fucked up. What is going on? Not too long after that, the bright sunlight suddenly blinded him, a sharp pain piercing his black eyes, and a moment later, Sonny was thrown ruthlessly to the ground, landing on it in a graceless heap. Still unable to see, he felt the chain being removed from its collar. Slowly, his eyes adjusted to the light, and he even thought his vision was not as good as it had been in the darkness. Sonny was able to see that he was sprawled on the stone floor of a circular arena. An arena? Are we in the Colosseum? All around him, rows of seats rose. It is a fucking Colosseum. Cut from the pristine white stones to form a vast amphitheater. Yep, okay, so it's literally like the dreamscape all over again. The theater was not crowded, and yet there were a lot of humans sitting in it, looking down at him with joy and excitement. They were dressed in a simple tunics and other kinds of archaic garments, most of them some shade of red. The arena itself was not white like the rest of the amphitheater. Instead, it was dull red too, or rather it might have been pristine once, but now its stone surface had absorbed too much blood and changed colors. Sonny looked up and saw another monster being left off its chain and some distance away. A cold shiver ran down his spine, yet he was a slave again. But it didn't seem that this time fate had made him a very different kind of slave. Wait, don't tell me. As the crowd of spectators cheered and the other monsters roared, spun around him and fixed in the bloodthirsty eyes of Sonny, it's a damned Colosseum. Oh my god, is this whole fucking thing a Colosseum? Shadow Gladiator? I'm sorry, is he gonna become like the Shadow Gladiator? Instead of a Shadow Slave, he becomes a Shadow Gladiator? Fucking cool, dude. That's sick as fuck. 30 minutes. My god, I can't stop fucking yawning! Second tournament arc, sign me the fuck up! Oh my god, I need a fucking pick-me-up. What do you guys do to stay awake, man? Oh man, maybe I take like a little bit of pre-workout, but pre-workout, that shit hits hard. Like I need very little pre-workout. A lot of pre-workout, that shit is insane. I don't think this one is willingly though. Definitely not willingly. Yeah, definitely not. Oh, chapter 604 is called Shadow Gladiator. I just recently rewatched Gladiator. Fucking movie still holds up. So I'm all for it. I'm all for another Gladiator tournament arc-esque story. Fucking sign me up, dude. Let me raise the volume up for you guys a smidge. I think this is good. You kept us waiting. Easy, just join the stream, and I gotta watch from the beginning so I can't live chat. No, it's okay. All good, man. We'll see you in the bit, Drake Snow. Chapter 604 is called Shadow Gladiator. There were wooden fences built. Did I do my timestamp? Yes. There were wooden fences built throughout the arena, parting into the many small enclosures, each connected to the next one by a rusty iron gate. Currently, Sunday was at the very edge of the Colosseum, with one of its stones walls behind him. 3 sturdy fences formed from the rest of the killing box. Sharp spikes mounted on them to prevent the combatants from trying to escape. Hold up, let me fix my I remember I told myself I was gonna change my layout a bit. I was supposed to have this in the back now. That way it's quicker to type. And I literally forgot to stick to it. There we go. I think it's better. How many chats are we in? We're about 4. And that was unmistakably where he had found himself, a Colosseum, a theater of death where the slaves fought each other for entertainment of the crowd unless they wanted to be slaughtered by the other gladiators or their own masters. Granted, this one is rather strange. For one thing, the slaves were predominantly wild beasts and monsters of all kinds, as opposed to the captured humans. The crowd was behaving weirdly too. After this experience in the dreamscape, Sunny expected to see the spectators overwhelmed by bloodthirst and dark, cruel fascination. Instead, these people seemed to be joyful and proud, almost solemn. It was as though they were genuinely happy for the gladiators, even a little bit jealous. The crowd, what the fuck is up with this crowd? The crowd was undiluting and shifting, singing one word over and over again. Glory, glory, glory. Yes, I am definitely yawning star today. I am trying to pause the recording though every time I yawn, but I can't help it, okay? I'm sorry. I edited like 3 1-hour-long videos, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm just so mad YouTube blocked them. But they're up on the channel now. They're gonna be spaced out over the next 2 days, and then we're gonna be posting our Shadow Slave reacts in between. So I do apologize for the yawning, but glory fucking indeed. Their voices merged into an echoing, thunderous roar. What the hell is wrong with these bastards? Sadly, Sunny didn't have a lot of time to think about the weirdness of the audience. He had bigger problems on his plate. Right in front of him, another creature was let go on the chain, its powerful body covered in dirty brown fur, 4 mighty paws, a long muzzle with terrifying fangs, and 6 eyes. I thought it was a bear. It's not a bear. And 6 eyes burning with madness. It was very similar to the dread wolves he had fought in the islands covered by the strange twisted trees. And it wasn't alone. 2 more beasts appeared from behind the first one, falling low to the ground as the guttural growls escaped from their maws. Damnation. Sunny shifted his gaze, trying to discern the ranks of the class and the murderous beasts. They seemed a lot smaller to the fallen monsters he had killed before, at least simply the size of the bull instead of a full cargo vehicle. His newfound ability to peer into the souls of the living things and see their soul cores was going to come in handy. Okay, so maybe the spell was being nice to him and gave him a really good edge. Apologizing for being tired. I know, I'm sorry. That shows you how sincere I am. I want to stream, but I gotta force through these yawns, and then eventually I'm gonna hype myself up, and the yawning goes away. But today you are gonna get Yawning Star, which I feel Yawning Star is better than Stalling Star. You guys let me know down in the comments. However, what he saw beneath their tough hides left him confused. Instead of spheres of radiant light, the creatures had hideous masses of swirling darkness at the center of their beings, veins of it spreading throughout their souls like cancerous growths. In the depths of the darkness, something unclear seemed to be moving, as if trying to break free. The sight of it was both frightening and repulsive. It reminded him somewhat of the herring rot he had witnessed in the Ebony Tower, growing from the severed arms of the Weaver. So this was the soul cores of the nightmare creatures looked like. Sunny had no idea how to judge the rank of such cores since he... I'm sorry, and get some coffee, bro. I've already had a lot of coffee. So I'm scared if I make more coffee. No, bro is stalling through the yawn. How do you know? Said he had no idea how to judge the rank of such cores since he only knew to measure the usual ones by their size and luminosity. The growths of darkness and Dreadwolf seemed to have two swirling nods, each which the least at him told him that they were mere monsters. Not that it helped him very much. He was and monsters is the lowest rank. How was he supposed to fight against 3 monsters while barely being able to stand up upright in this new unfamiliar body? Curse it. He was also not at all happy with the fact that this gaunt and powerful body was standing more than 2 meters tall, devoid of any fat, and stark naked with all of his stuff hanging loose for everyone to see, or bite off. Oh, that's fucking gross. Plus, there were a lot of women in the crowd. Hiding his discomfort, Sunny stared at the wolves, his black eyes full of menacing resentment, his lips part revealing sharp fangs that were in no way inferior to that of a monstrous beast's. A low growl escaped from his mouth. Come on, look how big and scary I am. You wouldn't want to fight a scary demon like me, would you? One would have to be insane to attack such a monstrosity. Sadly, this was exactly what nightmare creatures were. Insane. The wolves lunged forward, madness burning in their bloodshot eyes, their mouths open to foam, glistening of the jagged fangs. The crowd roared, damn it all. Suddenly commanded the shadows to wrap themselves around his body, which suddenly turned black and lustrous as though cut from the obsidian. Thankfully, at least, a part of his aspect still worked. Almost instantly, his might quadrupled, and so did his speed. Okay, that's still good. He can still do that. He dashed through the darkness and appeared from the shadows of one of the wolves, his 4 hands shooting forward to grab the beast, sharp claws sinking into the soft flesh. Senna was standing, struggling to control his body, and for that reason, his movements were much slower and messier than they could have been. But embraced by the 3 shadows, he simply used brute force to overcome the disadvantage. Raising the massive monsters above his head, he hissed and pulled with his might. Lean muscles moved like steel cables under his onyx skin. In the next moment, a river of blood flowed onto his horned head above the body of the wolf and mercilessly torn apart. The crowd went wild, and their voices growing loud and triumphant, at least those spectators who were close to his closed box. What are you screaming for, idiots? Sidney was more than a little startling by the violent strength of his new body. It was much more powerful than his human one. However, it was also much taller, and his center of gravity was much further than that from the ground. So he's twice as tall, and Jet said even just being like a few centimeters off throws you completely off. So I wonder how he's going to have to like adjust to this, right? For that reason, Sunny miscalculated his posture completely, lost his balance right here, and toppled over as soon as the Dread Wolf's body lost its integrity. He crashed onto the bloody stones, instinctively raising 2 of his 4 hands to cover his throat. Almost instantly, one of the remaining 2 monsters was upon him, its maw opening wide before closing around his neck like a crushing bear trap. Luckily, Sunny's arms were already in the way, so instead of tearing through his throat open, the wolf only managed to bite into them, sharp fangs burning through the tough skin, piercing flesh and scraping against the bone. Overwhelmed by the explosion of the terrible pain of the sudden fall, Sunny momentarily forgot how to control his limbs and operate the shadow demon's body. The second wolf jumped onto him, tearing into his abdomen with long claws. Not good. This was not good. He was pinned to the ground, defenseless, seconds away from being disemboweled and having his head torn off, and he couldn't even remember how many hands he had and what to do with them. Sunny suddenly then opened his mouth and roared. His bestial screams washed over the wolves, momentarily stunning them. Then he moved his 2 upper hands, grasping the first wolf by its jaws, and simultaneously threw him lower arms around the second one. Twisting his body, Sunny threw the monster digging into his abdomen of any pinned into the stones, at the same time pushing Maw away from his neck. Growling menacingly, he pulled the jaws of one of the monsters apart while crushing the other one with a devastating embrace. The 3 of them struggling furiously for a few moments, more and more gashes of lacerations accumulating on Sunny's body. The pain flooded his mind, clearing all of it with unnecessary thoughts. All that remained was a cold and murderous will to kill. He strained the muscles of his demonic body to the limit and finally felt the spine of the wolves snap into his embrace, and at the same time the lower jaw of the other one separate from its skull. A pitiful wail assaulted his ears, and he threw the paralyzed monster away, ripping away the other jaws off entirely. Damn, this is so fucking cool, dude. Both wolves fell to the ground while Sunny was finally able to rise. His fists came down on the sledgehammers, crushing the skulls of the abominations into paste. The massive bodies of the nightmare creatures shuddered and then grew still. Sunny was left kneeling, his chest rising and falling heavily. His naked body was covered in deep lacerations of blood, most of it now his own. His eyes were as black as the bottomless abyss of the sky below. As his four hands hang low, clawed marred with strands of brown fur, bone dust, and disintegrating grayish red sludge. The crowd cheered loudly, more spectators starting to pay attention to his box with disturbingly joyful and sincerely pleased expressions on their faces. Sunny sucked into the air into his four lungs, his two hearts beating wildly, and slowly rose to his feet. He scrawled, painfully aware of the absence of the familiar voice announcing his kill. The spell was silent. Now what? That's so weird. No spell? As though to answer his question, a rattling of chains resounded from somewhere up ahead, and then the rusty iron gate in front of the fence of the box rose, opening a path to a new one, this one closer to the center of the arena and permeated with the smell of death even more. Sunny stared into the newly opened path with a bleak expression and then let out a low growl and walked towards it, now acquired with his towering body a little bit better. Damn Sylvain. That witch, I am going to kill her again, I mean. She's going to answer for everything before the nightmare's over. This I promise before the gods. Radiating a menacing aura of anger and resentment, Sunny passed beneath the rustled gates and entered the second box. What a crazy fucking start. Hideous demon. Let me go make iced coffee. I am yawning too much. I do not like this. I don't like me yawning. We need more fucking coffee. We need more substance to keep it going. I'm trying so hard not to fucking yawn. Let me do my timestamp. I'll make coffee. I'll be back in like 3-4 minutes tops. I'll be back in less than 5 minutes. I already have frozen ice ready. I already got my ice cubes. Throw them in the blender. Pop them in. Pop in the ice. Pop in the water. Pop in the creamer. Pop in the ice cold cafe. Caffeine must be acquired. Caffeine must be fucking consumed. Bro, I've had one big ass fucking cup of coffee in the morning. I've had G Fuel, and I'm still fucking yawning because I had to edit so fucking much today. When did I scroll into an audiobook? Welcome, welcome. This is the one and only true audio experience where we actually fuck up. But it's not an audio. This isn't an audiobook. It is a reaction. Technically, it is a react. Never forget, people. That way we follow YouTube guidelines. I'll be right back. Let me go make coffee. Hey, before... Whoa, wrong music. Chat is kind of quiet today. How you guys doing, man? How you doing? How we doing? How we feeling? Before we continue, we have now acquired the most important thing in the world of Shadow Slave, caffeine, to keep us awake. I shall take a sip and then we shall resume. Oh my god, and I'm already awake. Look at that, bro. It's insane. One little sip of coffee and I'm fucking wired. Chapter 605 is called Hideous Demon. Oh, that's so fucking good. It's insane, man. My fucking, like, body craves the caffeine. I am a caffeine addict. I love caffeine. It fuels me. Yeah, no, you get there. Yeah, Noctis, my goat. I just read your title. Chat is kind of quiet, but it's okay. You know, we have our days. We have our days where we're kind of quiet. And also, I am streaming later than usual, so it might be kind of late for some people, or it might be too early. So everybody's kind of groggy right now, probably. Chapter 605 is called Hideous Demon. No, I don't consider that spoilers. Hold up. I think I know the problem. Let me double check. Let me check something in my settings. Hold up, hold up. I gotta make sure there's no slow mode or anything like that. No, okay, we're good. Whoa, so very early. Super fucking early for you. Oh, wow, crazy. Oh, wait, and I know what to do. I'm on top chat. I gotta go to live chat. Oh, wait, live chat. Okay, we're on live chat, so if there's any messages I didn't see, now I see them. For anybody that's been hidden, now I can see you. Chat is on live chat. Remember, chat up here is hidden, but I see you down here. As Sunny was walking towards the next enclosure, he had a few seconds to think. The first thing that he realized was that despite the fact that the spell remained silent, he had in fact received the shadow fragments from the 3 dead wolves. Oh, he did get it. The feeling of his corpse and thus body growing a tiny bit stronger was there, and even though it was hard to sense the minuscule change in all the changes, strange, this is also strange. His connection to the spell seemed to be gone, cut from the steel collar of his neck, and yet none of all his powers disappeared. Sonny couldn't access his soul sea and summon memories or runes, but he still possessed the ability to absorb fragments. He was also able to command his shadows and augment his body, as well as use Shadow Step. Even though its range seemed to be limited by the walls of the arena, what did all this mean? Well, it looks like he's more attuned to all his shadow abilities, right? All the Shadow God stuff. What did it all mean? Well, from the looks of it, what the spell was gone, his aspect remained, and there was a lot remaining hidden in that simple fact. But Sunny had no time to unpack it. What else was his aspect capable of? Walking under the rusty gate, Sunny hesitated for a split second and then summoned the Soul Serpent. A moment later, almost unnoticeable, on his obsidian skin, an intricate tattoo of a coiling serpent appeared, wrapped around his arms and torso. When Sunny sent his shadow essence coursing through it, the coils shone dark radiance, revealing themselves for everyone to see. Oh. Everyone is going to be kind of like, yo, what the fuck is a soul serpent, right? His lips moved, revealing powerful fangs and a frightening grin. So you are here as well, buddy. What did it mean? It meant that Sunny didn't have to fight unarmed anymore. It also meant that the Saint was with him as well. He might have not been most deadly of the creatures at the moment, still unaccustomed to this new lumbering body, but the two of them, together, Sunny and Saint were a duo most fearsome. Full of new confidence, he entered the second killing box, sending his shadow sense forward to encompass it. What he saw there made his squint a little. Oh, I know what to do. I know what to do. Never mind. I thought I could set it to live. Never mind. There was already a battle going on in the enclosure. A pair of humans desperately trying to fight off a swarm of small, swift, lizard-like creatures. Both of them wore white tunics, the younger one unarmed, while the older one had a simple sword in his hand and a leather cuirass protecting his torso. There were several human corpses laying on the ground, terribly disfigured by the sharp claws and the triangular fangs of the abomination, with their once white clothing soaked in blood. Sunny shifted his gaze and saw the vile darkness. Hold up, I feel like the music is too loud. South Africa, New Jersey. Oh, it's crazy. Yo, you guys are all over the world, huh? Super fucking cool. Sonny shifted his gaze and saw the vile darkness spreading through the souls of the lizard-like gremlins. From the looks of it, they were all awakens, the same as the wolves that he had fought. Sonny measured the strength of the monsters during the battle and judged their ranks the same as his. The younger man was an awakened as well, with a simple radiant soul core, while the older one had none at all. He was a mundane human. As Sonny watched, the older warriors would finally overwhelmed and fell to the ground, and gremlins easily tearing through the cuirass and sinking their claws and teeth into the soft flesh beneath. The young woman screamed and dashed to help him, but it was already too late. Even though the awakened youth managed to kill several beasts with his fist and push the others away, his partner was already mortally wounded. He shuddered, a river of blood flowing from a ghastly gash in his neck, and weakly pushed the hilt of the sword into the younger man's hand. The crowd went wild, happily chanting the same damned word, glory, glory, glory. The last surviving human raised his head, pain and sorrow mixing with hatred in his light blue eyes. I wonder why they're all fucking shouting glory. He didn't get to dwell on the loss for long, though he became the remaining gremlins were already rushing to tear him apart. Some, however, found a new target. Sonny grunted and tried to control his body as precisely as possible. He didn't command the soul serpent to assume the form of a weapon and summoned Saint Yed, preferring to keep his cards hidden for now. The lizard-like abominations did not seem too dangerous anyways, at least not with their remaining numbers and their attention split between the two targets' curses. The four-armed demon's gauntlet body was too tall, heavy, and unwieldy. Even every motion required more and more effort and was slowly that he was used to, even though there was an inhuman strength in the shadow creature's steel muscles, which was supposed to translate into explosive speed. Dragging so much mass around it was still different from operating a small and slim human body he had possessed before. So, I mean, this is technically better for him, right? Once he gets used to it. Who would have thought that I would miss being short one day? Never fucking mind. 4 gremlins jumped at Sonny at the same time, more of them lagging a second behind. Their narrow eyes shone with white, rabid bloodlust, and their jagged claws were aimed at his flesh, lusting to rip it apart. Wrapped in the shadows of the coils of the soul serpent shining darkly on his skin, Sonny took a step forward and caught all 4 creatures from the air and slammed their skulls against each other, crushing them. Even though he was having trouble controlling his new body, he couldn't even beat ever hoped to survive a battle against a demon, and a very special one at that. Sonny bared his teeth and lunged forward, a low growl escaping from his mouth. His 4 arms moved, crushing flesh and bone. Several beasts managed to slip past his assault and sink their claws into its thighs, one even trying to bite off a big chunk of flesh. Sonny hissed from the pain and crouched, using his claws to rip 4 more gremlins apart. There was no free hands to finish off the last one, so he simply bit off its arm with his sharp fangs, feeling the bone crunch and disgusting taste of corrupted blood on his tongue. Ah, I'm going to vomit. Sonny spit a mouth full of fatigued, dark blood and sliced, shrinking creature with a bone-shattering backhand slap. Suddenly, the box became deathly silent. He growled, overwhelmed by pain for a moment. The damn abomination had died rather easily, but not before doing a lot of damage. He might have overstimulated his newfound powers, but underestimated the gremlins due to their small stature and frail frame. He literally did the same thing he wants people to do to him, where you underestimate small people, right? The irony. What did I say? No longer lost from height or lost from sight. Yeah, he lost his face card for height. The irony. Sonny gritted his teeth, this time careful not to pierce his own lips by doing so. Then he whipped his face and straightened. Finally, he glanced in the direction of the remaining group of the abominations. To his surprise, they were already dead. The young awakened had slaughtered them with his sword somehow and was now standing there motionlessly frozen, stiff by fear. The youth was staring at him with pale-faced eyes wide with terror. Then he took an unsteady step back and whispered, "Oh gods, Lord, protect me against this hideous demon of the night." Sonny looked down at him with his immense height, his cobalt black body covered in terrible wounds, and blood more streaming far between his sharp fangs. He suppressed the desire to roll his eyes. Hideous, rude, fated, just toying with this dude. He really is. He, she, it. Whatever Fated is, really is just fucking around with him at this point. Speaking of fate, next chapter, Fate of a Slave. 48 minutes. Have you guys noticed I haven't fucking yawned once since I took one sip? This is how dependent I am on coffee, dude. It's kind of fucking crazy. It's insane. It's insane how fucking dependent I am on coffee. But it's so fucking good. Damn. Oh man, coffee equals lock-in. No, it really does help me, man. It really does help, like, a lot. Look, I was so fucking locked in, I forgot to update the chapter. Chapter 606 is called Fate of a Slave. Sunny glanced down to the young man, then slowly moved towards him. Did I do my timestamp? Yes. Sunny glanced down to the young man, then slowly moved towards him. The awakened shuddered and took another involuntarily step back. Then he gritted his teeth and lowered his stance, raising the sword into the proper defensive position. Lord, shine thine light upon me. Let my soul burn unextinguished, as the sun can never be extinguished. Huh? I've seen suns fade away and disappear before. Never say never, fool. Sunny listened to the strange prayer and allowed one of his shadows to slide off the menacing body, flowing to the ground like a dark veil. After that, he hissed from the pain and stopped near a mangled human corpse. He stared at the trembling youth for a few moments and then bent down, stretching his hands towards the body. The young man flinched and fell silent and then shouted, "Get your vile hands away from him, demon." Sunny ignored the awakened and used his claws to rip the white tunic off his corpse. Then he straightened and glanced at it with displeasure, his black eyes narrowing. This one was not too dirtied by the blood, but sadly, its previous owner of it was the enormous size of a human. As such, the tunic was way too small for Sunny's new towering body. He snarled and then tried to tie the tunic around his waist with a makeshift loincloth. There was a big problem, though, his tail. Sunny froze, somewhat confused about what to do. Then he awkwardly tore a hole in the tunic and made another attempt, and this one thankfully successful. With his nakedness finally covered, he instantly felt better and turned his attention back to the trembling youth. The young man was staring at him with wide eyes, periodically glancing at the unceremoniously disrobed corpse at his feet. Finally, he opened his mouth. You barbarous beast, have you no shame?" Sunny grimaced, revealing 2 rows of sharp fangs and 4 long, terrifying canines. And the next moment, though, his smile dimmed because there was suddenly a familiar pressure rising in his hand. So his flaw remained as well. Damn it. He hesitated, then slowly shook his head. Instantly, the pressure disappeared. Figures, I can't escape the damn curse even if when I'm mute. How is this even fair? I'm sorry, but he can't even fucking speak. Coffee does not boost me, just makes me mellow out. Really? I know like 2 people that actually kind of get mellow out and have coffee before they go to bed. I can't do that, bro. Like, this shit keeps me up for hours. Figures, I can't escape the damn curse even if when I'm mute. How is this even fair? The awakened blinked. No, of course not. Why would a demon know shame? It's wait, you can understand me. With the spell gone, its magical ability to translate any language into the nightmare was gone too. However, Sunny found himself able to discern what the young man was saying, as well as the only word the spectators seemed to know, even if demanded some effort. The language he spoke was not exactly the same as the ones he had learned from before, first in the academy and later during his travels during the Dream Realm, but similar enough to make out some of the words. He was able to deduce the rest. Sunny stared at the youth from above, then nodded darkly. The young man blinked. Wait, you are not one of the corrupted then. What kind of creature are you? Sunny scrawled, then the word meant nothing that was tainted, infected, changed, or perverted, a being cursed with some form of corruption, but what exactly was an awakened asking? Was he referring to a nightmare creature, perhaps? He hesitated, then shook his head again, and pointed to the coils of the soul serpent glistering on his skin. The youth frowned and confused. A snake, a serpent, can that even be Shadow's kin? No wonder the warriors hunt him down, then their gods and shadows are old enemies. Whoa, this is kind of big lore right here. Right? Nodding is kind of an answer. I guess true. If you're nodding, you can just yes or no questions, right? He's cooked? Definitely not cooked. So he points at the soul serpent, a snake, a serpent. Can that demon be Shadow's kin? And he's referring to the demon as the serpent, right? No wonder the warriors hunted him down. Then their gods and shadows are old enemies. Is he talking to me or to himself? Sunny lingered for a moment, then took a step forward. The awakened flinched, torn away from his pondering, and raised his sword higher. Stay away, demon, or I will. He fell silent for the gaunt, towering monstrosity, walking past him with absolute indifference. Sunny wasn't going to fight the youth unless the fool chose to attack first, of course. Made into a gladiator or not, he was not going to play the part of an obedient slave. He had no qualms with killing humans, but not to satisfy anyone's thirst for entertainment, especially not for anyone wishing to be his owner. They would have to come down in person if they wanted to force him. He studied the dead humans, men, women, and young and old. And the only thing in common they had was the color of their white garments. Some had been unarmed, and some had wielded weapons. The weapons were what he was really interested in. There were a couple... Oh, and he's going to keep the weapons. There was a couple laying on the redstones, none of them bearing any enchantments. He picked up a battle axe, glanced at it, and then threw it back to the ground. What was the point of having mundane weapons? His claws were sharper and far more devastating. Luckily, the young man seemed to have decided against using the sword against him too. He just stood there staring at the corpses, a dark and inconsolable expression on his face. The steward of the arena, whoever that was, did not seem to want them to kill each other as well. With the sound of the scraping metal, another rusty gate rose, opening the pell of the third box, this one even closer to the center of the Colosseum. Sunny and the young awakened glanced at each other warily, and then walked towards the gate together. Sunny's next cage was large and more comfortable. Well, at least it could stand up straight in it. Not that he was in any mood to do so. In the end, he had been forced to fight in his way through 7 killing boxes. The last circular one was the very heart of the Colosseum. In each box, a new nightmare creature, or a group of them, awaited those with abominations who had prevailed in their own battles as the outer circles of the arena. And because he's killing them, the guy gave him a bigger fucking cage. In this way, only the strongest and the most ferocious of the enslaved creatures had a chance to reach the center. The further they went, the louder the cheers the spectators became, and then on the final stage, their salvation awaited. Kill the final enemy, get a chance to live another day, only to be forced to go through this meat grinder again, undoubtedly collecting more wounds, more kills, more glory. Sunny had received a lot of injuries. As to the glory, he wasn't so sure. Currently, he was sprawling at the bottom of the hanging cage, his body mapped a gashing of lacerations and bruises. Everything hurt, but at least he wasn't bleeding. That was the benefit of losing his chance to receive the Shadow God's lineage. He was slowly healing, and in the next cage next to him, the awakened with light blue eyes sat, and empty of the hollow expression on his smooth, youthful face. The young man had somehow managed to survive as well, but grew quiet and despondent after they were brought back to the dungeon. Sunny didn't blame him. He was a bit too desperate to, yet they had survived today, but just barely. And who knew how many more days there were going to be in the future. Somehow, he had a disturbing feeling that once someone had entered the arena, they never left it alive. Sunny closed his eyes, exhausted. So what if his fate was to die as a slave in this cursed Colosseum? Fate was not something immutable. It was very, very hard to change. Was he or was he not here? Was he or was he not the heir to the demon of fate? If anyone could do it, it was him. That's fucking cool. What a cool setup. If anyone can go against it, it'd be him because he's the heir to the demon of fate. If anyone could do it, it was him. Next fucking chapter, dude. Shifting Sand. Timestamp? I'm sorry. So, quick recap. Volume 4 is about 150 chapters, right? I think you guys said it ends at 750, right? Somewhere along that line. I'm gonna change my thumbnail in a bit. Yes, thank you. I'm gonna change my thumbnail and I'm gonna put the one thing you guys said in the Discord. I think this is gonna be in our thumbnail when we go live now. Either this one is going to be our thumbnail, or this one will be in our thumbnail. Wait a minute. Sure, I did my timestamp. I did do my timestamp. Wait a minute. I have a theory. Before we continue, these demon horns look a lot like Weaver's mask, right? I ain't tripping. I know I ain't fucking tripping. If you think I'm tripping, you tripping. Because I feel like this is a little bit on the nose. Look at the horns. Look at these demon Damon-esque looking horns. I think the creature he is embodying has a connection to Weaver's Mask. I think there is a close resemblance. Like, look at this fan art. I think this fan art on the SS Wiki is the closest one to description. Oh, hell no, Sonny needs to be put out of his misery, fucking Gregory. He needs to be put out of his fucking misery. I would fucking cry if I looked like that. That is insane. I feel like there is a connection to Weaver's Mask. I may be tripping, but I'm usually not tripping. Bro isn't using mine rigged. Yo, second one. What am I not using? Hello, this theory again. What theory again? I have nothing but good theories. Use the second one, please. Bro isn't using mine rigged. No. Hold up. Which one did you send, Gregory? Oh, I see it. I see this one. Actually, you're right. Maybe we could use this one. We could use this one. We can have like a poll setup where we either go with this one or the other. I think we can use this one. I'll just mirror it and have him looking on this side where my arrow is, and the claws come out this way. I'm gonna just have it inverted. That way I can have my face right here, and I think we'll be good. Yeah, I think we'll be good. I think that's actually a good one, Gregory. I'm just joking, by the way. Use whichever you want. No, actually, that one's actually a little bit better. Yeah. A lot of creatures have horns. A lot of creatures have horns, and Weaver's Mask has 3, not 2. Yeah, it's true. I know Weaver has a little one right here in the middle. But I don't know, man. Horns? I don't know, man. I feel like there's a little inkling correlation right there, man. Right? Like, I know what's the saying? Correlation does not equal causation, but I'm kind of feeling it right here, right? Chapter 607, nice, is called Shifting Sand. Caged in the darkness, and he had a lot of time to think. All around him, a horde of nightmare creatures waited for their turn to be slaughtered to the blood-soaked arena. A few unfortunate human slaves among them. Here in the nightmarish dungeon, both the abominations of people were the same, equal in the face of inevitable death. His thoughts returned to the very start of the trail, and the announcement of the spell was made. 5 brave ones, someone else entered the nightmare with them, and Sonny had a good idea who. Dude, all I'm fucking saying is, man, I think that dude that's with Sonny right now is Mordred, but he's just pretending to be like an innocent dude. He's like, oh my god, are you this? But I bet you that's gonna be Mordred this whole fucking time. I bet you that's gonna be the twist. And if not, I'm already trying to see who's gonna be Mordred and who's he hiding as in disguise, you know? Mordred, the Prince of Nothing, still lived against all odds and had found a way to reach his goal. Perhaps his reflection had hidden in the eyes of Saint Cormac and then slid unnoticed into either Effie's or Kai's. Was one of his friends dead? No, that didn't make sense. If Mordred had devoured one of the souls aboard the ancient flying ship, then someone would have noticed. The Firekeepers were a close group and knew each other too well to miss a sudden change in the demeanor of one of them. As for Effie, we're just making sure we're recording, yes. As for Effie and Kai, if they had fallen victims to Mordred's terrifying ability... I'm sorry, what about Cassie? Easy, think instantly he must be related to Weaver. I'm trying to make big, bold predictions, and hopefully one of them lands. That is the goal. I'm still thinking my solar eclipse theory has some merit to the Shadow God, even though we know he's dead. Presumably, right? Like, there has to be some correlation. Right? Like, why was he born during a solar eclipse and why he is attuned to the shadows and darkness, right? Then there would have been only 4 souls entering the Soul Sea. But who was to say that the Prince of Nothing had to invade a soul once his reflection jumped into the person's eyes? Maybe he could just hide in the reflections, biding his time and waiting for an opportunity to find a better vessel. That's exactly what I'm fucking thinking, dude. That's what I'm thinking he's doing. And speaking of vessels, Sonny studying his monstrous body, his black eyes full of somber apprehension. Why had he been sent into the body of a demon? The spell was supposed to find a suitable vessels for the challenger. Had he been made into a hideous abomination because of his 3 soul shadow cores? After all, it was hard to find a human with soul worthy of a divine aspect. If so, was Mordred in the body of a terror right now? Hideous in the darkness, Sunny shivered. Yes, this was the most likely the case. The fact that he had the potential to either reveal itself to a blessing or a curse. In theory, all 5 of them had the same goal, to resolve the conflict of the Nightmare and the Sand. So having a terror fight on their side would be a boon no matter... Bro, what if fucking Mordred becomes a fucking companion, dude? What if the Prince of War actually becomes a fucking companion and joins the gang? He finds a worthy vessel that's like dying or whatever. He takes over, becomes a new host, and like he actually grows fond of Sunny and his cause. That would be fucking insane. No matter how much resentment Sunny had for the bastard, he also suspected that Mordred wielded the ivory knife. And we still need to find the ivory knife off him, increasing their chances of success even further. But Sunny also remembered what Master Jet had told him. Not all of the Awakened trying to conquer the trial of the spell had to pursue the same goal. Sometimes their solutions and ideal clashes, making them enemies. The idea of having Mordred as an enemy in this already insurmountable hell scared him. The Prince of Nothing was maybe the most dangerous opponent he had ever faced. Mordred, it's crazy how in this whole fucking scenario that Sunny's going on in his head. Keep cooking, brother, as always. And this whole conversation he's having, or this whole entire inner dialogue, at no point did he reference Cassie. He referenced the Firekeepers, but not Cassie. That's crazy. Would Mordred turn on the other 4 humans that had entered the seed? It was impossible to tell. He was not cruel for the sake of cruelty, and was not nearly as insane as everyone seemed to think. His hatred was directed towards Valor and not them. I can see this allegiance. I can see the seed taking shape in my head. But at the same time, Sunny could not say that the banished prince was completely out of sane mind. Something about him, when Sunny looked at Mordred in the eyes, it felt as though something was missing in them. It was a very small difference, but one that made facing the Prince of Nothing strangely unsettling. Mordred was a wild card, one whose actions Sunny simply could not predict. No point in dwelling on it right now. Unless I find a way to escape this morbid place of life, all awaits me is death. Anyways, he shifted his gaze, hissing slightly as pain radiated through his body. Orientating from countless wounds, Sunny thought back to his battle in the arena. Strange, it was also so strange. Some of his powers were gone, but others remained. His aspects seemed to be unaffected, but his connection to the spell was gone. Then, did this mean that an aspect was not a part of the spell, but instead existed outside of it? Whoa, crazy theory speculation. An aspect was not a part of the spell, but instead it existed outside of it. So does that mean the aspect and the spell are 2 separate entities inflicting like humanly change, like actual biological change on the human? Like you have the spell which gives like, that's so weird. Or is it all the same thing? But instead it existed outside of it. Trapped in an unbreakable enhanced cage, Sunny scrawled, a long time ago, back when he had passed the first nightmare and received his aspect, it had felt as though the power was coming from somewhere deep within him, as opposed from an external source. Was the spell only awakening inherent powers that were locked inside human souls and not creating them? Wait a minute. Come to think of it, Aura of the Nine, 9 has been brought up. Aura of the Nine had claimed to be an awakened, and while the youth sitting silently in the nearby cage had not said it, he was an awakened too. But in this ancient past of the gods were still alive, and so were the daemons. Their terrible war had not started yet, and Weaver had not disappeared to create something that would spell doom for both the 6 gods and the 6 daemons to create the nightmare spell. It's insane how fucking Weaver presumably is the one that created the nightmare spell. But like, I need more. Like, I can already see the fucking world building for this shit is gonna slap so hard when we get all our answers in later volumes. If Sunny's suspicions were correct, of course, that meant that the nightmare spell had not even existed yet in this era. Oh, that's why. But the Awakened did, as well as nightmare creatures or the corrupted, as the youth had called them. Sunny's vertical pupils narrowed. Were the nightmare creatures not created by the nightmare spell as well? What the hell? What the fucking hell am I saying now? What? The very ideas seemed strange and ridiculous. A spell had appeared in the waking world, causing the first nightmare creatures to be made from the bodies of those infected by it. And for the first generation of the Awakened to be born, it summoned those awakened into the dream realm. which was populated by the abominations and pushed him towards seeking out the challenging the seed of the nightmares. Unless a seed was conquered, it eventually opened a path for more monsters to enter reality. The very idea of nightmare creatures, aspects, and awaken were inseparable from the spell, and yet somehow it was. What does it all mean? Sunny growled his fangs, overwhelmed by a myriad of thoughts and a lot of confusion. I have a lot of confusion. I understood that reference. What reference did I say? I don't even know what reference you were talking about. Sunny ground his fangs, overwhelmed with a myriad of thoughts and a lot of confusion. It seemed as though the very foundation of his worldview had suddenly turned out to be built of shifting sand. He closed his eyes and scrawled, feeling a dual headache approaching, then raised two hands and rubbed his face, careful not to slice it open with the claws. Suddenly, the cage next to it swayed. The young awakened stood up and grabbed the bar, staring into the darkness. A few moments later, he said hoarsely, "Demon, hey demon, wake up, they're coming." Something about seeds? Okay. I don't know my reference. So you know a reference that I don't know. Good. All right. I understood that reference. Good. That's some good stuff, Gregory. I'll pick my nose a bit. I'm sorry. It's gross. Forgetful? Definitely forgetful. It's a weird chapter title. Is the chapter title really reincarnated as a demonic gladiator in a magical world? Very weird. Not one fucking yawn, bro, since I've had my coffee. Insane. To clear up. Wait, here, I'll read that right now as we're recording. I got you, bro. Thank you. Okay. Before we read this light novel-esque chapter title, G3 is back with the peak chapter titles. Dude, wait, look, hold up. Let me read the title first. This chapter title is literally that time I got reincarnated as a slime in another world. Like, literally, bro. That's what I'm reading. It's a Japanese light novel title. Reincarnated as a demonic gladiator in a magical world. He's having fun with these chapters. So, let me read your comment, bro. To clear up, the spell only appeared 60 years ago. Yeah, I remember that. It was only in recent human history. So to clear up, the spell only appeared 60 years ago. Not this long time ago, but the ancient times like that one he's in now. There are awakened and there are monsters, so it did not create them. If you think about it, Shadow Slave is literally isekai right now. It really is an isekai in a way. Like whenever we go into the nightmare spell, like, or the dreamscape, it really is an isekai. And you know what? And then when the creatures from the dream realm or from the dream world come to us, it's a reverse isekai. It's a reverse isekai. It's an isekai and a reverse isekai. So this chapter title is fitting. G3 knows it and you know it. All of us know that it's a isekai and a reverse isekai. Prove me wrong. Chapter 608. Glory, glory, glory. Sunny growled, falling to the ground. The heavy body of a stone gargoyle pressed him down. Its claws buried in his chest. A dark radiance rose from his skin, the scales of a coiling serpent becoming more visible. And then one of the forearms of the abomination shattered, pulled apart by his hands. Ugh. Gross. The creature roared, its tail shooting forward like a spear. He had no time to dodge or deflect the blow, so Sunny simply endured the blinding pain of the stone spike piercing his shoulder and pushed with his feet, staring to jump up. As a result, his horn struck the gargoyle in the chin, impaling it through the skull. Something cold streamed down his face, and the momentarily blinded, Sunny struck his abominations in the chest with all his might, sending the stone Goliath flying back. I know what to play. I should be playing Siege of the Spire, because there's people like, like, you know how they're chanting? Yeah, I know that you know, that he knows, and we know that we should be looping Siege of the Spire, just because there's a lot of chanting in the background, like when they go, right? So I feel like that's really, it's good, it fits good ambience for when, like, the crowd is cheering, like, The gargoyle exploded into a rain of stone shards when its body struck the floor of the arena. Sunny breathed heavily, his torso a mess of torn flesh, and then tiredly searched for the remaining enemy, which was supposed to be finding an awakened youth if he was still alive. His second day in the Colosseum had been both easier and more harrowing than the first. It was easier because Sunny was slowly growing accustomed to his new inhuman body. For someone else, this process might have taken longer, but he had always put adaptability and control over his physicality first. I fucking lost my place. Nope. Both of the flowing battle styles Nephis had taught him in the Shadow Dance were meant to make the practitioner as flexible and versatile as possible, the later especially being the pinnacle of malleability. Nope. This song doesn't fit. This song is too hype. Nope. This song is too fucking hype. This song is too hype. This is good enough. This is good enough. So he had plenty of practice to prepare himself for waking up in the body of an actual demon. Ironically, who would have thought? But these battles were also much more lethal. At first, Sunny had thought that his luck was just bad, but after he and the young awakened had barely survived for the first 2 boxes, the youths shared a bit of knowledge and put everything into perspective. And what are we going to learn? Apparently, by surviving the previous days of slaughtering and making their way to the center of the arena, the 2 of them earned the privilege of being added to the main herd of gladiators. In other words, everyone and everything they faced today had won 7 consecutive fights in the past as well. This was the cream of the crop of the enslaved combatants, more or less. And the final stage was also going to be different. Damnation. He'd sensed 2 swift shadows some distance away, then finally saw them. His eyesight wasn't the best in daylight, so Sunny relied on his shadow sense more and more. The kid was still alive, wielding a simple sword and a rusty shield that he had picked up in their second fight. He was dancing around the gargoyle, showing a good grasp of combat techniques and more than that, a little bit of talent. The young man was inexperienced but incredibly talented. His battle prowess was perhaps on par with what Sunny himself had shown on the Forgotten Shore, or even greater. Holy fucking shit, I know who's this kid. Is it Weaver? Like, is this Weaver before he, like, becomes a daemon? Or, like, maybe, like, I know it's like he's like one of the children, one of the spawn, right? But maybe you have to awaken to your daemon self. So maybe this is like Weaver, like the human, right? Before he like awakens to his daemon abilities, huh? Bruh. That's what I'm fucking saying. Not that it was going to help the youth. What was the point of knowing how to wield a sword when that sword had no chance of piercing the enemy's stone skin? Demon, I can't hold it off much longer. Sunny sighed and stepped through the shadows, appearing behind the gargoyle in a whirlwind of claws. With a loud roar, he crashed into the towering creature and caught it in a deadly embrace. The steel cables of his muscles moved under the obsidian skin, and with it a low growl, Sunny lifted the heavy abomination into the air. Gods, is this how much Saint weighs? Even for his demonic body, the burden of the monster, similar proportions, made entirely out of stone, was almost too much. Almost. Without stopping his lunge, Sunny carried the gargoyle forward like a speeding train and smashed the creature against the spikes mounted on the wall, impaling it on them. Sunny watched as mad light was extinguished in the eyes of the abomination. Then they took a step back on the fell into the heavy in the one knee. Easy is definitely a demon. These theories are unholy. Bro, are my theories cooking? Dude, it's like, I've been reading a lot of Brandon Sanderson. Stop Cooking. Dude, bro, I've been reading Stormlight Archive. I read Mistborn. Bro, Mistborn has some really crazy, like, reveals. Lost from Theory? No. Spot on Theory. Changing Theory. I like that one. Changing Theory. I felt heavily to one knee. Can you shut up for a moment, you bastard? Today, he hated the spectators even more than he had yesterday. The awakened youth was already beside him, staring at the dead gargoyle with a dark expression. Then he glanced at the sword and finally at the 4-armed monstrosities near him. Demon, you don't look too well. Sunny slowly looked at him with his black eyes, not recognizable human expression on his strange bestial face. No way you noticed, damn what a fool. Sunny indeed did not look too well. In fact, he looked terrible, with his obsidian skin torn in many places and sliced muscles tissues visible beneath. The most disturbing thing about it was the fact that his mangled flesh was awash with crimson blood. But none of it flowed out of the wounds as if possessing a will of its own. Damn, I'm losing my fucking voice. He had not fared as well as he had thought as he would in the battle against the gargoyles, in large part because the monsters had turned out to be much more powerful and swift than the similar creatures he had fought before. In the future, although Sunny was reluctant to do so, he suspected that he would have to reveal at least one or two of his hidden cards, Soul Serpent or Saint, before too long. The youth hesitated for a few seconds and suddenly stepped forward and put his hands on Sunny's torn chest. Sunny hissed, shocked by an unexpected gesture. "Don't move, demon, I'm trying to help you." Is he gonna heal him? What the hell? Suddenly the young man's light blue eyes shone with cerulean light, and his curly blonde hair moved as if brushed by the outwardly wind. A warm sensation spread from his palm and into Sunny's aching body. Slowly the pain receding, and that at the same time the torn fibers of the flesh started to repair themselves, growing back together. Didn't Weaver have like really quick regeneration? Or no, wait, no. Something had super fast regeneration, and maybe this is a hint to him being Weaver, maybe growing back together. In a dozen seconds or so, miraculously, the terrible wounds on his body had almost closed. The young man, however, paled considerably and stepped back, his breathing fast and rugged. It seemed as though his soul essence was largely drained. Well, I'll be damned, the fool was a healer. Sunny couldn't know whether to laugh or cry. On one hand, the awakened healers were incredibly rare, and having one as his only ally was a tremendous benefit. On the other hand, his only ally in the battle arena also turned out to possess an aspect that was absolutely useless in a fight. So there was that as well. The iron gates rattled, opening the path to the next killing box. Sunny hesitated for a few moments and then rose to his feet. No, this is good. I can kill anything the slavers throw at us. He just has to keep me alive. He glanced at the pale youth, then nodded curtly and headed towards the gate. Before walking through them, however, he stopped and tore off the long tip of the dead gargoyle's tail and handed it to the young man. The stone spike of the awakened nightmare creature was bound to perform better than a mundane weapon at least. The awakened stared at him for a bit and then sighed and dropped the sword onto the ground. They walked through the gates and Sunny face instantly darkened. I know that smell. Oh, we're gonna fight a fucking chain worm? Kitchen is in shambles. The kitchen can't take it anymore. No, Side Brother, stop. No? Are we burning the kitchen? When Easy gets in the kitchen, everyone evacuates. You see, you guys are just trying to throw me off the scent because you know I'm too close to the truth. You see, you guys, I can't tell if you're wearing Weaver's mask or not in the comments, but you know what? Alright, we'll keep it going. The chain worm he had seen before the dungeon was already crawling through the other gate. Its terrifying maw dripped with black blood. The crowd began to chant again, ecstatic to see the fallen demon advance to the next box. Glory, glory. He signed full of dread and hatred. Alright, bastards, I'll show you glory. You need to practice to be a chef, so let bro cook. Exactly, you know? We can't be Gordon Ramsay day one, you know? Like, we gotta practice, you know? We gotta be like a chef from Bear, from the TV show Bear, and then we slowly have to work our way up to this pristine, glorious kitchen, you know? And it doesn't happen right away. It takes some time. What time is it? We can do one more chapter. Let's do one more chapter. Let's finish strong. You might be cooking. We'll see. Bet. We're going to do one more chapter, and we are going to head out. Just because we are going to play a little bit of pickleball today. You are gaslighting yourself? Never. I read that, bro, and I feel like you're trying to gaslight me, you know? Oh, it's so fucking funny. The sprinklers turn on every time he uses in the kitchen for precaution, just to be sure. I feel like, I don't know if y'all making fun of me because I'm too close to the truth, man. I'm telling you, I don't know if you're gaslighting me or if I'm gaslighting you. But I think I'm cooking in these theories, okay? I'm gonna quickly recap these theories at the end because this is our last chapter. But let's get to it. Chapter 609. Hello. Chapter 609 is called Glory. Sunny tore the chain worm apart, pieces of flesh and puddles of blood covering the red stones of the arena like a ghastly carpet. Then, shrouded in impenetrable shadows, he thrust his hands into the mangled carcass of the slain abomination, ripped 3 bloody soul shards out. Ironically, killing the fallen demons had not been too hard for him. A long time ago, Master Rowan had described that these void creatures as incredibly formidable and deadly opponents, some that even he would not have wanted to face alone. But that was because Master Rowan was a human. Chain worms fed on metal, and as such, steel weapons and armor were useless against them. Ah, it's good. That he would have been in trouble if he was still in his human body, and most of his arsenal and memories suddenly became ineffective. However, he was a demon now, one of the Shadow Spawn, or Shadow's kin, or whatever he had been turned into, and he's made of obsidian. Hello, hello. His claws, his fangs, and his shadows were perfect weapons to destroy such abominations. Of course, fighting against a creature one rank higher than him was not easy, but augmented by 3 shadows, he had managed to dismantle the massive abomination without too much trouble. In fact, killing the train worm had been much easier than killing Master Pierce. He wasn't even wounded, at least not seriously. The crowd grew silent, shocked by his display of ruthless brutality, and then exploded with cheers. Glory, glory. It seemed that they enjoyed seeing someone triumphant against a strong opponent much more than that of anything else. Crazy bastards. Sunny glanced at the spectators with resentment, then walked over to the young awakened and pushed the soul shards into his hand. The youth looked at them with a frown. These are soul shards. Gods, how can he be awakened and not know what a shard looks like? Sunny stared at the young man darkly, then nodded and raised one hand to his chest, making a fist. The awakened hesitated. Don't you want to consume them yourself? Sunny snarled and then shook his head. Finally convinced that the youth crushed the shards into his fist and froze, a funny expression appeared on his face. What a strange feeling. Good for him. Whatever. Sunny wasn't given the shards out of altruism. For better or worse, the young man was now his partner. The stronger he became, the better he would be able to aid Sunny, both in battle and while using his healing aspect. And hopefully he does not turn on him at the end. And Sunny was going to need a lot of healing, that he was sure of. After he was done, the proceeding to the 5th cage, and then the 6th, and finally the last. By that point, Sunny was nearing his limit. Oh yeah, they go through 7 cages? Or 7 boxes? Good morning, good morning. Both battles against the chain worm had tested him in a way he had not expected, draining him of essence, damaging his body, and putting a heavy strain on his endurance. He was exhausted and overwhelmed by pain, the merciless of sun shining blindingly in the blue skies and making his black eyes ache. At least the crushing seemed to ignore the island where the Colosseum was located. In fact, Sunny had not felt an island move either up or down even once. Perhaps it was a permanent altitude like the Sanctuary of Noctis. Oh! They don't have that yet. The 7th battle, the last one they had to survive today, was indeed different. The central stage of the arena was circular in shape with 6 gates in its walls. 4 were already open and 2 still stood closed. Let me sip my coffee a little bit. My mouth is like, I don't know, man. I had like some salted chips today. And I don't know if the salt like fucked around with the sides of my tongue. You know when you have like a lot of sour shit? Or you know when you eat a lot of sour gummy worms and you get that weird texture in your mouth? Because like it stings? I'm kind of feeling that. And it's kind of stopping me from reading. But we're good, we're good. Let me find my place. Corpses of several terrifying creatures were laying on the redstones, steam rising from the pools of blood surrounding them, and in the middle of the killing stage, 2 humans stood, their faces hidden behind the helmet's visors. Oh, fighting 2 humans. Both were tall, strong, and clad in archaic armor. Their garments were painted bright red, and so were the plums of their helmets. One was armed with a spear and shield, while the other wielded an axe and sword. There were worshippers of the war god, just like the spectators singing from the stone seats of the great amphitheater. The young man shivered. Warmongers, these mad dogs. Sunny tilted his head, paying no attention to the raging crowd as he studied 2 humans. Both were awakened from the looks of it, sufficient power and skill. They were calm and solemn, their eyes empty and even a hint of fear, and instead full of confidence and savage joy. Glory, that was what all of them were here for. Willingly or not, the masters of the arena wanted their slaves to fight for it, but they also wanted to achieve it themselves. After the initial culling had taken place, the final obstacle the gladiators had to overcome each day was to kill some of their slavers. Whoa, really? And their slavers had to survive the onslaught of the slaves if they wished to live. In fact, all of the battles in the arena served a singular purpose: to deliver the best and the most formidable opponents for the worshippers of war, to temper themselves against or die trying. Mad dogs indeed. That is fucking insane. All these people were insane. Wow, how did I know the word insane was going to get brought up? Hello, hello. Is it because your flesh gets dissolved by the acid? Do not eat too much of it. Yeah, no, dude, I had like 3 salted chips, man. It's so weird, and my mouth has hurt this whole day. It's insane. But they were really good salted chips. All these people were insane. Sunny was now more sure of it than ever. It didn't change anything, though. He still had to kill 2 awakened warriors if he wanted to survive, or rather, if he wanted to earn the chance to be killed in the arena some other day. With a low growl, Sunny sent one of the shadows to the ground. In this fight, being aware of his surroundings was going to be more important than raw strength. No awakened human could challenge him in terms of raw might. After all, unless her aspects was solemnly focused on it, but such an aspect was the least dangerous an enemy of his could possess. Sorry, I'm burping. It was easy to understand that the predictable, at least, it wasn't the versatility of the unpredictable nature of the aspect that made an awaken so dangerous. Without much fanfare, the 4 of them lunged at each other, an almost palpable killing intent permeating the arena. The 2 warriors fought with tremendous skill and combat powers. The 2 of the warriors fought bravely and ferociously, moved like 2 parts of a single organism. The 2 warriors fought with incredible insight and cunning, both wielding clarity like a deadly weapon. Truly, they were worthy of being the followers of war, but in the end, both of them died. How could they resist a creature that could turn their skills against them? Who had faced terrors so vast that the most humans would have been driven mad by a mere glimpse of them who lived his life wearing countless lies like a mantle? Sunny watched as the corpse of the second human fell to the ground, awash in blood, light dimming in his unbelievable eyes and sight. Here's your glory, poor fools. How does it taste? Is it sweet? Is it bitter, or does it taste like nothing at all, like an empty lie that it is? Turning away from the dead man, he glanced at the crowd, expecting to finally see sorrow and displeasure on the faces of the spectators. He had just killed 2 of their own after all, but his hopes were instantly crushed. The people gathering in the amphitheater were not at all perturbed by the death of their brethren. Instead, they were even more excited, pride and joy gleaming on their faces. Laughing and smiling, they pointed at him and yelled one word, other and other. Only this time it was a new one. All of them were shadowing. All of them were shouting. Shadow. Coliseum Ardent Server. Let's fucking look at this shit, man. This is a really good start. That's gonna be our last chapter, but let me do my timestamps and then we'll look at Discord. 1:24:03. Let me just scroll down. Okay. So this was a new artwork. First design. That is super fucking cool, dude. So this is fucking... Is he holding a rock? That's so fucking funny. It's like, damn. This is fucking sick, dude. Look at his teeth. 1, 2. He's holding one sword. Oh, he's holding one long sword, one short sword, one spear. Insane. I can't believe Sunny became this. What in the actual fuck? Oh my god, I've used this one as a thumbnail before. Whoa, I've used this Coliseum thumbnail. I just didn't know that's what it was. This is Sylvain holding the human beating heart. Damn. More Sylvain? More Sylvain. I can fix her. I can fix her. I can fix her. Sylvain fan art. I can fix her, bro. If she crazy, I can fix her. Sunny's first meeting with Sylvain. Oh, look at the red flower. Yep, she's kind of twisted. This one is creepy right here. This one is definitely a creepy ass smile. Damn. So fucking cool, dude. I am so excited to keep reading this series. Let there be lights. Okay, so we are done for today. Some more artworks in Discord, by the way, should help you visualize more easily. Coliseum art on the server. No, yeah, that's a lot more helpful. I was like, what is he? Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen artwork with like 4 arms, but I thought it was just like, yeah, no, we're still live. But I thought it was just like, you know, like a person doing their own interpretation on something. Or like it was just some random ass nightmare creature. I didn't think that was Sunny. That is so weird. I think this is what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna be live tomorrow. We are definitely gonna read more. But I am gonna be premiering these videos. This is the goal. We're gonna be posting like one RMGI react, one Dunkwa react, and then one web novel, i.e. Shadow Slave react. So tomorrow at 7 in the morning, let me see. So tomorrow on the 28th, RMGI premieres. And then I think the following day, I'll have this react premiere. And then the next day, I think that's the goal. I think we'll have, yo, what's up? I think we'll have one Shadow Slave, one RMGI, one Shadow Slave, one RMGI. I think that is the format I want to attempt. So every day, something's going to go on the channel, but we're going to alternate with videos. That way, there's always something coming out of the channel. And then if we have if we're already like really ahead in videos, we can just probably have them premiere 12 hours apart, right? Like one in the morning, one at night, evening, noon. I think we can do that. But if not, well, I will probably do. I will make the Shadow Slave videos members only until the video premieres, if that makes sense. So you'll be able to watch it like a day or like a day in advance in between those reacts. Now, see, this is the thing I feel weird, because let me pause this music. So it's like I've already promised. Let me loop this music. Let's quickly chat about it. You guys need to let me know how you're feeling. So right now, I made a Patreon to watch unedited, uncut, no filter reacts for feature and anime Dunkwas. That is like the Patreon membership is for that. But those videos are still going to be up on the channel. So you guys don't have to pay for that. That's only like if you guys want to watch them without a filter on Patreon, and then that way I still have at least everything backed up in case I need to re-download them for whatever reason they're there. But because we're now premiering RMGI and there's like 100+ episodes that I'm behind, I can have Shadow Slave and RMGI alternate. One. Like one react this, one react that, one react this, one react that. But in the meantime, what we could do, we can have the Shadow Slave. I mean, the live streams we've always had the members only, but maybe we can just now have the videos members only as well. I don't know if that will be a good template. And then we just leave the live streams private. I don't know. Like once that's up, we leave them private. I don't know. The red is for war. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we're gonna leave it there. Season 4, Volume 4. Fucking slaps. I'm in. I'm fucking locked and loaded, baby. Sunny looks so fucking weird and cool and awesome, and I need more. I need fucking more of this volume. Now, you guys can let me know in chat before I end stream, or you guys can let me know down in the comments below if it's chill for me to read some of these chapters off stream, or we should just keep doing them live. I mean, of course we're still going to be reacting to it and posting them here. Yeah, I agree, season 4 is amazing. Yeah, volume 4 is pretty good, huh? So what is this chapter gonna be called? He is a demon. He is a demon. Sunny is a demon. So demon of something. Chapter 1 starts with Kingdom of Hope. Sunny is a demon. I am calling it right now. Clairvoyance Easy Geeky has joined the chat. This is my theory that I am cooking. Shadow Slave Volume 4 is going to be called the Demon of Hope. The Demon of Shadows. So let me look at these chapters. We had Hideous Demon, Kingdom of Hope, Swarm of Shadows, Menagerie of Monsters, reincarnated as a demonic gladiator in Magic World. I don't think that's what it's going to be. Glory of a demon. I think it will either be Demon of Hope or Demon of Shadows. Well, no, the first volume was called Child of Shadows, and now Demon of Shadows. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. that'd be kind of like an homage to Volume 1. Whatever gets you to read chapters faster, my dude, hell yeah. You know what? If I do these off stream, I probably will be able to do them quicker. I probably will be able to do it quicker, but we will see. I might do like the next one in the morning off stream or some shit like that. But I'll try and post them right away. We'll see what happens. So I love you all. Peace. Have a good, beautiful, amazing day. And I will see you guys all very, very soon for more Shadow Slave. And if you guys want to, we have a Patreon. And we will have a link down in the description below. I don't think I have it set up for the live streams, but I will definitely have it for future videos. All right. Love you all. Catch you later. Oh, did it not stop recording? Did it crash? Okay, no, we're good. We're good. All right. Love you all. Take care, guys. Love you all. Take care. Have a beautiful, loving day or a beautiful, loving night. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Oh, shit. I dropped my fucking mic.